Hello and greetings. Cindy here with Courage International Ministries. It is December. It's a time that has a lot of busyness, and of course Christmas, which is always lovely. I'm heading to one of my children's homes for Christmas this year. That'll be really lovely. I'm sure that you have different things or special things that you are doing as well. So many blessings on that. I wanted to drop in and say a little bit of a word about what is going on at Capturing Courage in terms of the next focus. You may have heard little wind of this a little bit. I've been thinking of writing it out, and my goodness, I think it would just take so long to write it out. So I'm gonna just share it in a little bit of a video. When I was on my way back, coming back across Canada in July, I'd already been praying about what next things were with the Lord and what the options were. And there was do a prayer road trip across the US. That was one of the options. There was head to Vancouver Island for House of Prayer location. That was another option. The other one was, actually I can only remember three of them. The third one was to head to East Africa. Partly, I need to get to Tanzania. We have a bishop there who's been teaching the course to the degree level and has graduated 21 students. And it would be important for me to show up. And we've known this for a few years, of course, because this collaboration and relationship has been going on for a while. So that's something that's been uppermost in my mind. But then we have also realized it would be somehow timely now to, in fact, teach our course, College of Capturing Courage, in the city of Uganda, and to record it so that there's a recorded teaching of each chapter. So I began thinking of these, or praying or laying these out before the Lord back in the middle of the summer. And the heading to East Africa was the one that was always rising to the surface and continued to rise to the surface and to be compelling and have a resonance within it. So in the last few months, I have been preparing for that. I've been restudying the course myself with teaching notes tucked into its pages so that I would be able to be more prepared to be teaching each chapter. You know, I wrote the course quite some years ago. And in fact, Module 1, I put together in the fall of 2014 and into the early part of 2015. So it's been quite a while since I've looked at that material. So I've been working through it and getting ready. The other thing is I've been completing the remainder of Module 3 onto our website, onto the course website. So that's been a good thing. And I'm doing a final run through in terms of linkage and basically the linking and the different various things and how the website works. So that's happening currently. But this East Africa has been at the top of the heap, so to speak. My bag is packed. As you may know, the bag usually gets packed a month or two before heading out. This time it's been even packed a bit sooner than that. I've kind of done it in iterations, repacked it a number of times, just feeling out the spirit and the sense from the Lord and even my own heart. Like, is this a thing? Is this something to aim for, to continue aiming for, to continue prepping? Yesterday, I felt the Spirit, for instance, these little odds and ends, right? Yesterday, I felt the Spirit telling me to stop at a drugstore and get some electrolytes because I always travel with electrolytes and they had run down. I really don't have any more left. So that's now been added. And it's these little things that often tell me that I'm going somewhere. Now, the course has 89 chapters. It would take me 10 weeks to teach it, 2 chapters a day, in the afternoon within the city of Kampala. We have all the plan in place, the church to use, the hotel I would stay in, how to help the noise, sound in terms of within the church, in terms of traffic noise outside, right? And, I have GoPro camera that can do the recording easy enough. I have 2 batteries. Hotel has been checked out. We have an estimate for prices for that. So it's a bit of a big project. I'm a mix of anticipation and this deepening trust of the Lord in this. But with every trip, I'm always like, wow, is this going to happen? I don't know if this is going to happen. So the monies that we have coming in at Capturing Courage currently, I think we have 9 monthly financial partners. That is keeping the ship running as it is at this time. That enables the odds and ends and the website charges and the email fees throughout the year, and then a bit of salary for myself to keep doing what I'm doing. But there is not extra for this trip to East Africa. Now, normally I'm not talking about money or asking for money, but a couple things kind of are coming together here. One, it's end of year, right? And, I have the information to communicate forward about donations for the end of the year that can be counted in Canada for tax credit, right? And the way the Lord usually does funds at Capturing Courage, and this is the way has happened for all the trips and 22 ministry trips up to this point in time, and is that the Lord just compels people by the Spirit to send funds in. So it has occurred to me that you may be one of those people that maybe the Holy Spirit's whispering in your ear, send some funds to Cindy, send some funds to Capturing Courage International Ministries. And you may be wondering, is that the Lord? Is that not the Lord? I'm not sure. So if that's you, I want you to know about this thinking in hand, because the thing that would pull the trigger and make it a full yes in terms of going to Tanzania for a couple weeks and then to Uganda for another 12 weeks is the finances. At this point in time, that's what would enable this to happen. And so here's the thinking, is that we would just go with what monies come in or what are made available. It could just be a trip to Tanzania and back. I looked that up. I looked up airfare to Tanzania and back, and it's just a little bit over $2,000, which is actually a pretty good price. And that could be done, and I could be back home if that's all that comes in. If more comes in, then I would go from Tanzania to Uganda, and I would teach the course. Now, the time frame on that, there's 3 modules to the course, and I could teach one, which would be a few weeks. Well, actually, it would just be 1 week of 1 month of teaching, sorry. And then I could be home again. Or if enough funds come in, and again, as the Spirit leads here, I could stay for 12 weeks and teach the entire thing, the 3 modules, recording it all. This would be, the full meal deal, we could call it. And I have a feeling this is to be the thing, but again, I'm not sure. And we'll let sort of the funds decide. Because in my mind, if the funds are there for it, then I'm going to trust the Lord in terms of my own stamina and strength to do it. It's a big job. But teaching, in my normal ministry trips, I've always taught anywhere from 8 to 12 sessions a week in years past. So to teach 10 a week and to have really good parameters around that and boundaries in terms of time and enough rest, enough of a schedule to make it happen, we'll trust that to the Lord. So that's the thing at hand. That's what we're looking to do. And if this resonates with you, I know it's really there's been a real quickening for a few folks as they've heard this plan to teach the course in Uganda and to record it each chapter by chapter and make that available. We would then make that available to pastors on USB card or whatever these little things are called, right? And also on the website as well, and on YouTube just generally. And what that would do is it would ease the burden of reading the entire course, especially for those who are not big readers, and that the teaching could go out in an oral format, basically. So that would be made available. And infrastructure in countries is better and better all the time. You know, back when I started international work, 11 years ago, there was not enough electricity, there was not enough internet, there was not enough. There was not enough of these things to make video useful within a country. But that's been changing really rapidly actually in these last years. So there does seem to be a timeliness to this, and this would be one of the sort of last big push in terms of being responsible with the course to get it into video format. Now, of course, I could do that from home, right? I could set up a bit of a studio, or just as I'm sitting here right now, and read and add in as I'm presenting chapter by chapter. So that could be done from home. And of course, that is always an option. And so, you know, if funds don't come in, I'm happy to go. I'm happy to stay home. And if enough funds don't come in, then I'll be doing that. Although it seems important to get to Tanzania and to do that and to come back. So I think that's what we're looking ahead to. We've figured out everything. The plan is in place. I've been taking December as a real quiet month before the Lord to just listen deeply and to hear what the Lord may or may not be saying, to see if the compelling towards this increases or decreases. You know, sometimes when we're in the middle of a plan, we end up in a momentum that carries itself along and ends up making something happen that maybe was never to be made to happen. So we're really careful about that at Capturing Courage, that we're not efforting something beyond faithfulness, if you know what I mean. Thank you to those of you who are financially partnering with us each month. That really has been sustaining the ongoing support just to be able to keep doing what we're doing. Really, really appreciate that. Portion of that heads off in terms of the international work each month. And again, I've already said what that goes to. If you ever have any questions about monies, like always ask, right? Our finances are open to anybody who wants to know about them. The only other thought I had was, if you are somebody who's been thinking to connect in or to want to assist at Capturing Courage in any way, if a financial partnership is something that you would be able to do, that's always available, and that actually would increase our ability going forward to make further plans, I guess. But so that may be something for a few of you. The other thing is, if the monies come in, if more funds come in than what's needed for what we decide to do, you know, if it's a little bit of a trick sending out a call for some monies towards a project, and if enough monies don't come in for the full project, then we're going to scale the project back and probably not use all the funds that would come in. But in that case, it would all be set aside for another time. And there is always the option that maybe the Lord would have me teach module 1 in Uganda, which would be about a month, 5-6 weeks, you know, with a bit of buffer around the edges there. And maybe I do another module. Maybe I do another module in the fall or a year later. So there's lots of options and possibilities, but Whatever is sent in for this particular project of teaching and recording the course will go towards that, even if the whole thing doesn't happen here in the spring. So the thinking is February I would head off to Tanzania, and March start in teaching the course in March, the end of March, or somewhere there in March for Uganda. So that is the plan. And of course we make our plan and the Lord directs the steps. So at this point in time, we don't completely know how this is going to unfold, but the Lord often and always unfolds things, usually in a surprising way. So we're looking to the Lord for that. And thank you again for those of you who are monthly financial partners. Thank you for those of you who send in funds quarterly, in a regular kind of way. You've just really, really assisted that the work of Capturing Courage International Ministries is able to carry on and that we can go forward. There is, let me just say, just in case this resonates with somebody, there is, I have recently had a large, unexpected bill myself that is outside the scope of Capturing Courage International Ministries. That is something that can be taken care of with time myself. I'm not worried about it. I am a bit concerned though with heading overseas and not having this bill taken care of. So I just lay that before anybody as well, in case, again, that resonates with somebody's heart, or that's coordinates with something the Spirit's been talking to you. So just so that you know that. All things in good time. We trust the Lord with all of this, and God always unfolds what is to be. And so if this trip or these two countries, or maybe just one of them, is to be, then the Lord will just unfold that before us, and I'll keep you updated once we get to January and where we're at. So if you're thinking for a year-end donation with availability to claim that on your taxes for 2022, then the deadline is, let me read this specifically so that donations made online must be received on or before 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, December 31st, 2022. Credit card donations by phone will be received until 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Friday, December 30th, 2022. And check or money orders must be dated no later than December 31st, 2022. Please ensure all checks are made payable to the Great Commission Foundation. Yeah. So I'll put those links in the bottom. It's also on the website, capturingcourage.org, under Give tab. That all heads to the same place. Great Commission Foundation is our charitable partnering organization. Monies that come through them, you will get a charitable receipt. That's where all our monthly financial donors operate through. And I think that's, oh yeah, and that's to whom we also report quarterly in terms of the monies that we receive and the ministry that's being done with those funds. So that's our reporting agency as well. And they report then to CRA. So Merry Christmas. God, would you be with all of us? We are a bit of a tired, weary world at the moment. But there is this sense as well that Christmas is enlivening us a little bit. And so God, we look to you at this time. As always, may you increase our focus, our intent, our face like flint to you, God. Father, for the troubles and the sorrows that many are bearing, that Christmas usually only highlights, we ask a deep easing of these things for people worldwide, in the name and the blood of our Lord Jesus Christ. And so, God, we present our lives to you, and we give you all the glory and the honor, Father. And we invite your presence, and we invite your glory, and we invite all manner of good things from your heart that loves us. And we trust you, and we love you, and we know you to be good, God. And so we bless your name today, and we give you glory and honor and praise. Amen. Be blessed.